Hello, and welcome to the guide for land doctrines and NoStepBack. Today we're going to be going over the changes that happened to some of the doctrines, and then we're going to be going over the best land doctrine in the game and basically what each one does. So to start with, we're going to go over the changes. So for superior firepower and overwhelming firepower, they've added a new stat, coordination. Increases the amount of damage dealt to the primary target in combat. Other damage is spread out over other targets. In the dev blog, they basically said that coordination was added, increasing alpha strike in combat against multiple divisions. New stat. This is again from the patch notes. Coordination added, which affects primary damage split in combat with multiple divisions. Basically, what this is doing is if one of your units is targeting a separate division in a combat, and that is their primary target, they will do an increased amount of 5% more damage. This is rather minuscule in all terms of things, but I thought I would mention it. And this is the only new stat for superior firepower. Mobile Doctrine nothing has changed there. Grand BattlePlan is the one that has actually seen the most changes in it. Mass Assault Doctrine has not changed at all. So for Grand BattlePlan, Grand BattlePlan has changed. They have added a daily command power gain of plus 0.25, which is nothing. But it has been added to improve this doctrine that was the worst doctrine in the game. And still is, pretty much. The next one is Infiltration. Infiltration Assault. They have added a 15% command power multiplier. Woo! So good. Still doesn't make the doctrine any better, but it is a change. Branch interoperability is another one. It is on the assault side. And they have added the plus 10% coordination. This is the highest coordination of any doctrine because it is the 10%. Superior Firepower has 5, and the other two doctrines, Mobile Warfare and Mass Assault, have absolutely no coordination in them. Central planning increases your command power by 30, which is good if you don't know the trick of taking 23 divisions away, putting them in a separate thing, activating the command power, and putting them back. This is basically useless. It's good if you don't want to do that much micro. That is it for the changes to all the doctrines. Otherwise, they are the exact same as before the update. So yeah. Basically, that's it on the changes. So now we're going to be going over basically the land doctrine separately, and then I'll tell you which one is the best, and basically it's mobile warfare. So mobile warfare basically gives you a whole bunch of buffs to infantry and tanks. Infantry and tanks are the things that you use to win this game, and tanks, most of all, are the ones that basically win everything for you. The left side is the best on the mobile warfare side. Basically, it's because it gives you a lot more org to your infantry units, which when you attach them to the tanks, overall leads to a higher organization. The plus 20% breakthrough on this side is not enough to justify the massive difference in org that happens. And then you go Modern Blitzkrieg, because Desperate Defense is just a meme for 5% more recruitable population, whereas this actually buffs your units quite considerably. Next is Superior Firepower. Oh, sorry, let me say this. Mobile Warfare used on basically every country that has an industrial base and can use tanks. More or less. If you want to win and cheese the AI and actually kill people, you use this doctrine. Superior Firepower is another doctrine that is kind of useful in the right circumstances. Basically, it buffs your soft attack quite considerably. Most people still go down the support company line, and I also agree. If you can get rocket artillery, especially, this is just better than this, even with this 5% coordination, which basically does nothing. If you go down air-land battle, this 20% over your divisions is nice, but it's not all it's really cracked up to be. Because the right side just gives you a lot more soft attack. It gives you 5 there. put 5 there. So most people usually choose shotgun all unless you have actually air superiority and you want to mess with them. You do this, but mostly shotgun all integrated support. And you basically build artillery divisions with this template. And you smash anything that is infantry, and when you run into a tank, you scream for help. Yeah. Grand Battle Plan, the worst doctrine in the game by far, in my opinion. And still is, even though they have made massive changes. Basically what you do with this doctrine is you sit around and wait for them to attack you. And that is it. The assault side is bad. And more or less doesn't have a use. Infiltration, basically the way you would take this is if you're fighting in the Pacific and you want to get down your supply consumption, and the night attack is very good, kind of, but it's not great. But this is more of a Pacific focus for your infantry, if that makes sense. I'm not going to get into the officer academy stuff, but basically there's a theater commander, theater training, which gives 20% more XP to getting traits to fight in certain types of terrain, which you have to take, and you have to take this doctrine to get it. Mass assault doctrine, basically the beam of the game. The right side is just a beam. Basically has no, I mean, the only use it has basically is if you're playing Poland, or you're playing a country that's going to be occupied, but not actually annexed, because then you can just cheese other players. Do not take this in single player, unless you just want a meme. Then you can take it and it's fine. Just buffs your infantry and increases resistance. And that's basically it. Deep battle is basically your Soviets, because you start with a lot of people that boost your doctrine in a deep battle. It's the main reason you take it, is because you can't take mobile warfare, or you have buffs to get this. It's not a bad doctrine, but it is not as good as mobile warfare, to put it lightly. But it is considerably better on the Eastern Front. And on the Western Front, it's not at all viable. Basically, what I'm trying to say here is, if you're Germany, don't take mass assault and go deep battle, because that's stupid. If you're the Soviets, you really don't have a choice. And if you do, warfare is better. If you don't, you can take mass assault and then deep battle, and we'll be fine. Yeah. And that's all the updates for what is it? For NoStepBack. Still thinking this is Battle for the Bosphorus, but it's NoStepBack. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. There's going to be in the description, there's a Discord. You can come in there and ask me questions about, I don't know, whatever you have concerning the land doctrines. We'll be making more videos on the naval doctrines and the officer academy, and so much and so forth. So yeah, if that's it, please have a nice day.